Hey y'all, it's Chanel Elaine, and welcome to tonight's Live and Unfiltered. I'm your host.
And I am your co-host, Kia Nicole.
And tonight, y'all, we do have a special guest, Kevin Ndahiro. Don't kill me, Kevin. I can't pronounce your last name. But
I
we're
think
gonna
you're
have him
close. Yeah.
right as a special guest and dive into a little thing like personal growth. Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna put you on personal growth, being a business owner, also coaching. So we're gonna get into a few things tonight, and hopefully you guys are able to come in, interact, and ask some questions. So we're gonna go ahead and pull you up, Kevin. Let me see. You should pop you right in now. Let me see. I accepted it. There we go. Hi, Kevin. Welcome in.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
We
Doing good.
good.
Adjust your camera a little bit so we can see your full face, please.
Like that?
Put it down a little bit.
We got a lot. We don't.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome in, Kevin. Thanks for being here. We just wanted you to just do a little icebreaker, just introduce yourself, anything that you want viewers to know, just starting out the episode. So you can go ahead and do that.
So, hi, my name is Kevin. I'm a retired basketball player. I retired probably 2 years ago now. I'm a business owner. I'm a coach. I train kids. I do camps. I do all sorts of things like basketball related showcases. I help kids get scholarships. I help kids get NIL money. And so, pretty much just basketball business.
So you're in the basketball era. So that's good.
Yeah.
You list a few things, and those all sounded good. So we're going to dive into those, just the small areas, and expound upon those. All right. So first thing we're going to get into, what's the most rewarding part of watching someone grow in their skill set when it comes to basketball?
For me, it's two things. Obviously, it's good to see kids go from point A to point B, but it's more so the mental aspect of it. A kid that comes in without any sort of confidence and their mental aspect is probably super low, and then eventually getting that confidence and building that mental, to me, that's probably the most satisfying part of everything, the mental part. Because I've played basketball for a lot of years, and one thing I could say that's very important for players professionally, college, whatever, is keeping a mental on you. You know what I'm saying? The mental is probably the most important thing that kids don't even know today. You know what I'm saying? So when I come across kids, I try to really focus on that aspect first.
I love that. I can't hear. We can't hear you, Chanel.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, because when we go to edit, I don't want the sound of the fan. We might not hear it now, but when we edit, we might hear it. So that's why I muted
That's fine.
myself
I
on
just
the
saw your
phone.
lips moving, and I was
Oh,
like,
I
oh.
totally forgot I was muted, but that was a good point, Kevin, for the most rewarding watching them grow. So to piggyback off of that, when kids come in, are you taking in kids that are typically have some kind of skills already? Are they starting off as beginners? Is there an age gap? How do you source the kids to come into your program as a coach?
So my business, like Ken Basketball Services, is a business that's open to everybody. So I have clients of all ages, believe it or not. I have literally just an hour ago, I had a client in their mid 30s that's training to get ready for their men's league or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I have kids, I have adults, I have college players, I have professionals. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not more so who I'm taking in and who I'm not. My business is open to everybody, and I build programs accordingly to the player, and they're always very specific to the player. So it's never the same program for one player to the other,
Right.
in a sense.
Customized. That's cool.
That's great. I think that's a really good thing to do when you're not so closed off on doing a set age, maybe kids, when you're open up, so you're able to get in more of a clientele. So that's a good way to step into that.
Now, I do have one question before you go on. Is it easier, would you say, to coach the youth than it is the adults? Do you find
Now, for sure it is, because I would say adults already have certain behaviors that you got to correct them from. If somebody's been coached the wrong way their entire life, then you got to coach them out of that way
mm-hmm.
and then eventually coach them into the right way. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of kids that are coming in as beginners, they don't, it's just a flat base. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So it's just learning for them. So I tend to see kids definitely develop a lot faster
Okay.
than adults when it comes to skill levels, just because adults obviously, or if somebody's been shooting the same way for 10 years, it's very hard to just get them to change that muscle memory, really break it down strategically. So I would definitely say like beginner kids definitely advance a lot faster than adults.
That makes sense. Oh my gosh, it's kind of like when you're learning a new language. For kids, it's easier. For us
Yeah,
adults, it's
exactly.
way harder. So
Yeah.
I think you can apply it to other areas of life. Makes sense. That was my only question, Chanel.
So leading from that, you did also state that you played professional basketball for
Mm.
a while. So transitioning from that, how did your relationship with basketball change once you stopped playing professionally?
It honestly it was a smooth transition because it's basketball was always my passion from the time I was a kid. So transitioning from playing to coaching, I just looked at it as like I've traveled the world, I've succeeded at this sport, and now it's just time for me to give back. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it in a sense. So the transition, I would say, it wasn't hard at all. Again, to see kids and adults and whatever, like just saying again to get better and work on their skills and break their mental barriers. To me, it was very smooth. I felt like it was like almost like a perfect fit or a calling from God, I would say.
I love that.
Okay. All right. So transitioning from playing professionally into was that an interest when it came to coaching? I know a lot of times basketball players do take a lot to coaching because they can know the game and the different, what would you say, positions that the players play. So is that what drove you into the coaching, or you just was like, oh, I want to try this, and then it became a passion of yours?
To be honest, I always knew when I was done playing, I
Mhm.
would want to do some sort of coaching training and just stay in the basketball field because you guys know me personally. Like I just felt like a 9 to 5 wasn't suitable for me just because of like, I don't know, just the way I grew up. Like, all it was basketball. I didn't really
Mhm.
learn how to build a resume and all that stuff till like recently. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was just something that I feel like was going to be very smooth transitioning into. And it was almost like a calling because it's a funny story. So my last year playing professionally, I was actually playing in Africa in the
Mm.
BAL, and I ran into a friend of mine who actually did rankings and showcases when I was in high school. And he was actually one of the guys who actually put me on the map and got me offers and stuff like that because I went to showcases. I won MVP of those showcases, and it got me the exposure that I needed at the time to get into schools like Stetson and whatever. So I ran into him 12 years later in Africa. Imagine this. And he's out there like, just recruiting because he has a whole service out here now, whereas he's got his own league and all types of stuff going on. And we talked, we chopped it up a little bit, and I told him I've been doing this for 5, 6 years. I feel my body's tired, and it's time for me to transition. And he actually told me, what are you thinking of doing? And I told him coaching, and he made that connection with my coach here that I met at London Basketball Academy, and that's how it worked out. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost fate in a sense.
It was destiny. I
Okay.
love that.
Do you have that dog next to you? All
Uh,
I hear is
I
scratching
hear
as you're talking, and I'm like, no, that part is gonna be hard to hear 'cause it was scratching or making noises.
he just left.
So okay, that's great. So it's almost like it was your purpose to diverted from the path and ended up right back on the same path in a sense. All right.
Yeah, that's cool. Literally, God appointed that individual to get you to where you need to be. It's like the fact that y'all found each other again 12 years later. That's cool.
It's a crazy story.
Wow, it sure is. Okay, when it came to your business, was there ever a moment where you thought, man, this wouldn't work? And if so, what did you do?
I don't know if being a business owner, there's always downtime.
Right. So let me explain
So
a little bit more. Let's say
yeah,
when you first started out, sometimes when you start a business, you might have clientele. Sometimes you start a business from scratch up. You believe in yourself, you start out, you might not have clientele. So is
exactly.
there a moment in time where you start out your business maybe 1 year in or 2 year in to basketball, and you're like, man, I don't have enough clientele. How do I source clientele? Were there ever a moment where you doubted it for a second? And if so, what did you do to change your mindset to know eventually I'm going to get clients? I'm going to be able to grow. So,
Yeah.
what was the point where you were like, man, I don't know if this is going to work, but then you did something to make it work?
So I'm not gonna lie, definitely for sure. When I first started, I started with one client, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And eventually through word of mouth, they heard of my basketball knowledge and just being a good coach and being a good human. Eventually more clients came and whatnot. But for sure, I definitely didn't feel like I could do it full time in one sense. But funny story, I was actually working like a job, but at the same time I was running my business. So like, in a sense, I was doing it as a passion, not for the money at all. But then I don't know if you heard about the whole, I'm not really a political person at all. I don't stand on any side at all. But like, so Trump, he put on the tariffs on Canada. So a lot of businesses, like
Mhm.
the company I worked for, they sell steel to 95% of the clientele in the States. right? So when Trump put that tariff on us, business essentially pretty much almost went out of business. They had to lay off 50% of the people. So when they laid off 50% of the people, I had no choice but to just fully jump in. And it's funny because when I did that, it just worked out. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started doing more camps and stuff like that. But like I said, I didn't go in it on a sense of I'm trying to, this is going to be like what saves me or whatever. Like, you
Right.
know what
You
I'm
wasn't
saying?
going
Like,
into it
exactly. So
what you
I
really
just went
like.
in fully passionate because like, I'm a basketball fan and I love basketball and I love passing on knowledge. So it's funny because I just went in as myself and it worked out. You know what I'm saying? And it's been working out and it's going pretty good. So really, it's just like, thanks to God. I don't think there's a time where I really thought that I was going to shut it down because it wasn't going good or none of that. It really was just like, I don't care if I have clients or if I don't have any clients. I'm saying somebody's got to hear this message a little bit because I feel like I've gained so much basketball knowledge over the years that I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't pass it on to the next generation. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely understand that for sure. So piggybacking off of
Also, the people around me, also, I want to shout out to the people around me for sure. Like, they definitely, like my girlfriend, they definitely pushed me to just like, go out there and be a coach and stuff like that. Because at first, I definitely thought it was being a player at the time. Obviously, I want to be a coach and whatnot, but like, when you're a player, in a sense, it's hard to just switch it. And I would say like, they definitely told me, yo, you got to do this, da da da. So they kicked me in the
Got you
butt
out
to,
your
you know what I'm
head.
saying? Got me to just doing it. And then when I started doing that, I realized that I really loved it. And then eventually worked out.
I was just about to say, piggybacking off what you said, I was going to say being a player in a sport is completely different than coaching a sport, which
Yeah.
is why I was going to say, like, yes, you have the skill set when it comes to doing the sport, basketball, your plays, what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You know that. But when it comes to coaching now, you're not managing yourself. So it's almost like you're giving a little bit of you to each player and you're trying to manage each player and trying to, work on their strengths and figure out their weaknesses put into the sport. So that was going to be my backup question. When it comes to, do you find it, well, of course, it's going to be a little bit of a difference, but I was going to say, is it more difficult being a player, getting coached from a coach, or is it more difficult for you to coach individuals on a general scale?
So is it more difficult being a player or more difficult being a coach?
Coach. Yeah,
Yeah.
simplify.
So I would say being a coach is definitely way more difficult than being a player because being a coach, there's always something to learn. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know coaches that have been coaching for 35 years and they're still learning new things. You know what I'm saying? That's like being a player. If you really love the game, you just playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's based, it's passion, it's love, it's a lot more that's into it. So it's easy. Me going to work every day, going to practice every day, that's, I don't look at it as a job or whatever. Like, it's not as taxing because it's something that I really love. I love coaching too, but it's a little different. It's a lot more strategical. Right now, for instance, after this, I'm probably gonna watch film and take notes. You know what I'm saying? And learn. You know what I'm saying? And keep learning because I'm reading books and basketball and stuff like that, and I played basketball my whole life. So there's just so much. I definitely feel like being a coach, especially at the high level, a professional coach, is definitely it's harder for sure, I would say. At least for me. Player was easier for me because I feel like basketball came a little easier for me. I'm a big guy. But yeah, for coaching for sure, it's definitely a little more difficult.
And to follow up, just a question, Kevin. Are you coaching these individuals on one basis or are you doing groups? Do you have like a camp that you do over the summer where you're like doing kids, maybe middle schoolers, high schoolers, or are you doing it on a solo base to work on these individual skills?
So I do a whole lot of stuff. I coach from fall, like from September till February, I coach prep team, which is grade 12 and 13 kids that are getting ready to go into school. So I'm trying to help them get scholarships. So I coach that team, and then I coach a junior team, which is like grade 11s, no, grade 9s and 10s, and then I coach a senior team, which is grade 11s. And then in between that, I have individual clients where I have clients that prefer one-on-ones. I have group sessions. I have groups of like 12 10-week programs, groups of 12. I have dropping classes. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We do showcases, have camps going on. So it's a busy schedule for sure. And right now, obviously, I haven't hired anybody, so it's a one-man show. Like, not
I
only am
was
I
just
having,
about to ask how many coaches you
yeah,
have.
so it's literally right now it's a one-man show. Probably next year,
Jesus.
if I'm fortunate, I'll probably hire somebody. Like, so all the emails I'm sending them, all the, you know what I'm saying, all the signups, the registration forms, and then I'm doing all the basketball stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a crazy time right now, but I love it though because it's basketball business, so I don't
I
trip.
love that. Power to you, because that sounds so
Okay.
overwhelming.
So I'm gonna ask them because I'm learning while I'm doing all this. I'm like questions popping in my head, so just bear with me. But the
Nah,
first
no
question I
sweat.
wanted to ask, you touched on getting scholarships and things for students. So is it? Of course, they're not doing it based on a GPA. They're not doing it based on that. What is the requirements when it comes to getting them scholarships? When it comes to
So
helping them getting grants? What is the requirements?
with the prep team, so like I said, I'm a co-head coach, and then the other co-head coach is a retired teacher. So the kids go to a school that we have connections in. We have an academic advisor, so we definitely keep track of their studies and their credits and stuff. Because getting into universities, you need a certain amount of credits. You need 4 Englishes, 2 maths, 2 languages, certain SAT scores, SAT. So we have people for that. And then I just do the coaching. You know? So we travel all around America and Canada in top prep tournaments, and they're all showcases with 100+ coaches. Just last year, we sent a kid to a Division 1 school called JIT. They actually used to be in our conference when I was at Stetson years ago. So stuff like that. As far as academics, we make sure that they're up to par. And then the basketball, that's my job to make sure players are ready. You know what I'm saying? So, and I would
Right.
say to get into the program, obviously you do need to have decent grades. They're not just going to take
Right.
bad students. You know what I'm saying? So I would say you definitely need passing grades to answer your question, and you definitely need to have a certain level of skill basketball wise, because this is elite high school prep basketball. It's not like regular high school basketball where you're just playing regional and district teams. We're playing teams all over America. You know what I'm saying? We could be playing in Wisconsin, and then the next week we're playing in Ohio. We're playing a college team in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
And is your camp free, or they do have to
For
pay
my
to?
camps, so I do have
You ain't got to tell the price,
yeah.
but
So all my summer camps right now, I actually right now everything I have up is it costs money, but we do have a showcase that's part of a
no.
nonprofit that I'm a part of, my brother's nonprofit, the Share Family Foundation, where that's actually a free showcase. We bring the top teams. It's invite only. First day is the combine event, and then the next day is followed up with like a tournament base. And then we also do partnerships. I just did a partnership with a Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you guys have Boys and Girls Club in the
We
States, right?
do.
Yeah, so I did a partnership with
A
Boys and
lot.
Girls Club where I did a free camp for them actually. I did an all girls camp for them. We had 30
Nice.
kids there. And then I did a boys camp for them. We had 20 some kids there. It's just a way of giving back. So I definitely like my personal stuff it definitely costs money, but I do collaborations like that as a way of giving back, Boys and Girls Club and stuff like that.
Love that. And you don't got to feel bad. Listen, what you are bringing to the camp is worth something, is valuable. So put a
Yeah,
price tag on it. Honestly, it's going to be worth way more when they're able to transfer those skills into college. And you know what I'm saying? So,
for sure. It was pretty unique what we did. We also have a financial literacy course that was led by my sister. My sister works at the bank. So
mm,
it was cool to give back like that. They get the basketball aspect and they get like
real world.
some
Right
gems to
there.
take back home for like, as far as financial literacy and stuff like that. How to invest and stuff like that. Open a TFSA and really just protect their future.
That's dope.
That sounds like you're doing a lot, not only for the community, but also for yourself to help you get where you need to go. And that sounds like a lot of personal development. And me personally, I feel like sports help to develop character. It helps to develop a mindset. It do help you to be structured in a way when you're going through life. So speaking of personal growth, I wanted to tap into that. What's a belief or mindset you had 5 years ago that you've completely outgrown and changed as of now? So
Uh,
it's a belief or a mindset that you completely 5 years ago you thought one way, but now 5 years later, or what changed? What's that? What did
I
you
mean, I
outgrow?
feel like everything's changed. 5 years ago, I feel like I was just such a different person. You know what I'm saying? Just everything about life, like just the way I thought about money, the way I thought about basketball, the way I thought about just life in general. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt as a looking at from this angle, being 30 now, definitely feel like I was definitely an arrogant kid and I had to find my ways. But at the end of the day, I feel like I had to grow. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through those years as well to get to where I'm at today. I don't know if there's a specific thing that I would say that I changed. I just feel like everything has changed, to be honest, just from like the
Perspective
way
on
I think and
life.
perspective and everything.
Okay, good. So you're just taking the time to mature and tap into what you needed to and figure out your path in life. I love that. All right. So we've got all that. Is there anything else? Well, actually, we're going to hop into a little fun round game right quick. Just a few questions. It's just a quick little this or that, just your preference. You can comment, elaborate on why you choose it. It's up to you. So speaking of coaching styles, because we talked about that. As a coach, do you prefer old school fundamentals or modern analytics when it comes to basketball?
You know what I'm
Modern
saying? It's like it's
fundamentally?
like
Okay.
50-50. That's a tough one. You can't really pick one, you know what I'm saying? Because you definitely need, I said I'm a player, like just retired. So obviously like, playing in Europe and Africa and all these places, they're very analytical. You know what I'm saying? Like plus minuses. They read the stat sheet. It's like a freaking
Bible.
scripture in the Bible or something. You know what I'm saying? Every number really matters. And to be honest, it does for sure. Now that I'm coaching, you don't want a bad percentage shooter taking good, like majority of the shots. It wouldn't make sense. You're gonna lose the game. You know what I'm saying? You want your best shooters taking the most shots. You want your best ball handlers dribbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? You want the best numbers wise players doing what they do best. So if you have a guy that's got a really high field goal percentage and he's a big, you want him taking layup shots and close basket shots than you do him shooting threes if he has a bad shooting percentage. You know what I'm saying? But as far as old school, like, you definitely need the old school as well because a lot of these kids today don't have any character. You know what I'm saying? There's no discipline. And I tell kids all the time, you can literally surpass 90% of the kids today if you just focus because there's so many different distractions. You know what I'm saying? Cell phones, drip, TV, the music they listen to, everything is like a distraction. So if you're just passionate about anything, it doesn't even have to be basketball, you're going to surpass your peers because everybody else is focused on so many different things and they're just trying to please so many different people. And
All right.
nobody's really just focused on their craft like that.
Okay.
So,
All right. So
and
that
yeah,
was
you
an
definitely, yeah,
in-depth
yeah, you
this. I
definitely
thought you were
need
just gonna
both.
pick a this or that, but you
He
know.
is
Yeah,
passionate about this. Listen to
you
you.
So
retarded.
is,
You
you know
can't
what?
really
No, you
do
dropping
both.
some.
All right, that was good. So tapping into practice and development, this or that. Would you prefer film study or on-court correction? So would you want them to watch film and
Oh.
know what this one deep too? Oh, okay.
No, but to be honest, I think on court, for me as a player, on court definitely was better for me just because like, I'm more of a visual person. And if we're able to fix it there and I'm able to see it there, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Film is a little different. I can rewatch and then I get it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say like, on court, but they're both very important.
And then when they're in the game, do you prefer man-to-man defense or zone defense?
Oh, man to man for sure. I'm from the block. You know what I'm saying? I grew up playing a certain way. I don't believe in. You definitely need to play certain zones. Obviously, if you're gonna be a good team, you can't just play man. And the way the game is structured today, even man to mans kind of look like zones anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like nobody just plays a straight man to man because players are so good off the ball screen. So you're forced to play a zone. But like for sure, I prefer old school man to man. Take care of your man. I'll take care of my man. You need
Mm.
help. I'm there. I'm saying that's what I prefer for sure.
All right, and the last this or that. Do you prefer to condition with the ball or without when you're dealing with structure with basketball? Conditioning with the
That's
ball.
good with it.
What for what age though?
Oh.
It doesn't matter. As you as a coach, you go out there, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You be like, all right, back to the back line for your
It
condition time. Are you gonna have
depends
them
what age.
dribble the
Like
ball?
like
Hold
for
You
on,
want,
instance,
let me ask.
hold
yeah.
on. Are you gonna? I'm not speaking just as a college player. I'm speaking as a coach too. Because if your rest of your players, I don't know, show up late to class, I'm pretty sure you're gonna punish the whole line.
Yo,
All
if
right,
it's
give me
like
some.
this,
Give me
if it's
some hold on. Give me some suicides or something like that. So what I'm asking is, would you have them grab the ball, maybe do drills all the way in conditioning, or would you have them push the wet towel? What would you have them do when it comes to
yeah.
conditioning?
So for if it's for high schoolers, college guys, anybody that's a student, 100% no basketballs. We're doing
Mhm.
all the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm a retired professional. I just came playing professionally, and some of my teammates are 37 years old with two kids and a wife. You're not about to tell these guys to just hit the lines. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to do something different. So you can't just tell a grown man, yo, go do that. But like, for sure, students and kids, 100%, no basketball.
So for the adults, you
For
might
the
do
adults, you probably gotta
basketball
do
to
like
mask
something
it so it
different,
don't
like
look
something
like
with a
you.
basketball. You gotta do something different.
So it would only apply based on the age group that you're dealing with at the time. It doesn't
Because
apply to everybody. Oh,
nah,
right.
That's
because
what
with
he
the
was
kids,
getting
they
at.
need the discipline. It's different. You know what I'm saying? With professionals, they've already built that discipline, or they wouldn't be professionals. So you're
Right,
not about to
right.
just tell them, like, "Yo, do that." For sure, like during like conditioning months, you have to do certain conditioning, but like, it's not the same as like, you're gonna have to hit the towels, and you're not making a grown man do that.
All right. So now that we've come to a close, that was the end of this or that portion. Is there anything else you wanted to share for those maybe that's working, like you do say you travel overseas, so those that are interested in maybe being a part of a basketball camp, where they can find your information, social media, email, where can they reach out to you if they need more information?
So my social media, Instagram is Can Basketball Services _. My personal website is www.canhoops.com. You can find all my programs on my website, from my camps to my 10-week programs to my individual one-on-ones to my small group programs to whatever, pretty much. You can find that on my website, and you can pretty much get registered, and I automatically get the message and whatnot, and you get started. Obviously, that's like locally, and that's pretty much it. I'm definitely working to get something that's more global. Hopefully in 2026 we'll be ready. I'm working on an app where,
Come on, 2026.
yeah,
Right. What you
so
say? Hello.
You
I
gotta
already have
speak
a
it.
I already have an ebook done. So it's
Okay, Kevin.
just a few things that I
You
gotta
you gotta get
Put it
more
in
with
your
the so
bio.
you gotta get more with the social media, buddy. You gotta
get out. That's how
you be having so much going on.
it's very strategic, you know. So I gotta
Yeah.
obviously grow my page to a certain number before I could even put it out, or it wouldn't even make sense, right?
Right, right, right.
So I definitely want to tap into the global market. I'm traveling more now. So I want to do more camps. I don't know if you've paid attention, but I'm doing a camp here in London, Ontario, and then I'm doing one in Mississauga, which is a different city. I just did a camp in Ottawa, which was another different city. So I'm trying to do like different cities as well. If I could tap into American cities, that would be lovely as well. So you know what I'm saying? Just like tap into different markets and just expand and share this knowledge that I've gained. And I have so many basketball friends as well that are always trying to be a part of it. I never really just do this stuff by myself. It'd be nice to sit here and just take all the credit, but I always have like high qualified guys that come and share their knowledge as well with the kids or whatever, the next generation, just to give a different perspective that's just not my perspective. Obviously, I have friends that have played at higher levels than I have and stuff like that. So I don't want to just give my perspective and it's just the only one that's right.
I love that. Listen, you
Yeah.
had the vision, and then you have people that's coming along the journey to
Supporting
help
you.
support that
Mhm.
vision. So I love that. I'm proud of you. Look at you doing humanitarian work. You
Right.
got your own business. You're pouring into the youth. You're giving back to your community. Kudos to you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me so much.
You're welcome.
It's all love always.
Thanks for being here, Kevin. We appreciate you for coming and sharing your knowledge. And a lot of times it's good to just touch base on these things and open up, because a lot of people don't really know sometimes what you got going on, and they might be interested in these things, which is why we bring guests on and have them open up and share, because sometimes our guests just aren't as, not that they're not tech savvy with social media,
But
it's
they're
just
not
not
on
the,
social
on
media.
right as
Yeah.
heavy, and it's like they have a whole lot going on behind closed doors, but you never know who, when you put out the information, who might reach out. You never know who you can come in contact with. And so we love the fact that you're able to open up and share your services that you do, and you're trying to make it global. So if people are interested or their kids are interested, they can get in contact with you for basketball camps, whatever it is that you have on your website. So thank you so much for coming, Kevin, and for sharing. That is the end of our live tonight, y'all. Don't forget to follow our Live and Unfiltered page here on Instagram. Of course, we don't go live from it, but we're still growing that page. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube as well, Live and Unfiltered. All the clips from tonight and the full video will be on YouTube later this week. And I don't think I'm missing anything, am I?
No, I
Nope.
believe that's it.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Good night. Thanks again, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye.
y'all.